Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are doing some summertime makeup. It is definitely getting hot, at least here in New Jersey where I am. And I wanted to do a summertime look that not only do I think would be beautiful for the season, but using products and techniques I would use on my clients during the summer to really make sure that their makeup looks beautiful in direct sunlight and most importantly, lasts in the hot weather. I think that's always a challenge when the season shifts, is kind of tweaking your products and technique to make sure that it complements the season. And in the summer, a lot of the times your makeup is going to be outside in direct sunlight. People are going to see it in direct sunlight, and you really want to make sure it lasts. So all of the products I'm using in today's video are not new to me. Some of them are newer to the market, which is exciting, but I wanted to make sure I've used and tried and tested everything to make sure that it was going to work for this video. All the products are either affordable or drugstore prices. I wanted to make sure you guys had easy accessibility to them without spending a lot of coins. So without any further ado, let's get into today's summertime makeup. We're gonna start with eyes today, just in case we have any fallout, we don't mess up our complexion. I went ahead and filled my brows and primed my lids. And for eyeshadow, I'm envisioning this beautiful kind of like pool water blue storyline here. So I actually picked up this palette. This is from Revolution Beauty. This is the color book. So they came out with a couple color books, and it has this kind of storyline where it will highlight just a certain color story that is really kind of hard to find in regular palettes. So this one here, the whole top are shimmer shades and the bottoms are matte, and it's just like, how can you beat this, especially when you do want to do a colorful storyline? So you can see it even comes with this beautiful plastic cover just so you're protecting whichever side you're not using. And in this palette, I'm going to use the mattes mostly. The first one we're going to go in is this light blue right here. And on this blending brush from Morphe, I'm going to go ahead and blend this out in my crease. These shadows blend out so beautifully, and I actually found this palette at TJ Maxx, so I'm pretty sure I got it for like $5, and I just feel like it's hard to find bold colors sometimes, especially in matte or shimmer if you're looking for something specific, and these Revolution color books are just so amazing for that. And now that that shade is blended out in our crease, we're gonna go in with a little bit of a deeper shade. So we just went in with this one here. We're gonna go one darker, and I'm gonna use a little bit more of a pinched brush just so we can get a little bit more fine of a deposit of this color, because I really wanna tuck this in the crease. I don't really wanna blow it out as much as the color we just used. So not to overblend this, I just deposited that color in the crease. Now I'm gonna switch back to the brush we blended out our first shade with, just to blend that out without depositing any more of this color, because I don't want this to get too big and blown out like our transition shade. I still want everything to be nice and blended, but I just really want you to be able to see that gradiating blend between the two shades without putting any more of this color on too high. So on top of deepening up the crease, I also went ahead and pressed this on the lid, because we're gonna go in with a beautiful standalone shimmer shadow now all over the lid, and I kind of wanted to give it a little bit of a base or an anchor behind it. So this shimmer shadow, you guys, is absolutely stunning. This is from City Color Cosmetics. One of the shimmer shadows in this is this beautiful shimmer shade here called Breezy, and I can't even explain how beautiful the texture of these shadows are. They're so buttery, and for a lighter shimmer, I mean, I can't even tell you how pigmented it is. This is one swipe. Like, that is one swipe coverage of this shadow. It is just so gorgeous. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take this and press this all over our lid. I mean, how gorgeous is that, you guys? Oh my God, I think these standalone shimmers by them are so awesome. And I'm coating the entire lid. We're not really doing the inner half or keeping the outer third clean. I want this all over the lid. And now that that's deposited, I'm just going back with our fluffy blending brush here and just running this through the crease just to make sure everything is married together and super blended. Before we go in with liner, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a makeup wipe and clean up our edges here so everything is nice and clean. This is why I always like to start with my eyes. Just gonna press out our edges here to make sure nothing is too harsh. We really want everything to be nice and soft. And now I'm gonna go in with a liner from Color City as well. Guys, these colored liners from Color City are unbelievable. I cannot tell you, I wanna grab all of them here. So look at this range of colors. They're all these beautiful pastels. And let me tell you, for colored liners, it's always hard to find stuff that is pigmented, doesn't crack, goes on well, really has great opacity to it. And I tested every single one of these the other day and they are just beautiful. They go on like a dream and they just have the most like beautiful one swipe kind of pigment to them. They're not at all patchy. So I don't know if you can see on the back of my hand here. That is the white one. And I wanna go in with a white liner here because I love, with a little bit of a wing maybe, because I love the look of white liner contrasted by some beautiful mascara and lashes. I'm not gonna do this on camera because wing liner is my Achilles heel. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop on the wing liner and come back when I'm finished. All right guys, I'm back with the liner done. I wanted to do a little bit of a subtle wing, nothing too big, but I just love the contrast of the blue with the white. And as always, I'm gonna go in with lashes. I got these at Ulta. These are the Ardell 8D lashes. They look so beautiful, and this is in the cut 952. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop these on, and we'll be done with the eyes for now, and we'll move on to complexion. We're back and the lashes are on. I love the way these lashes look. I think they're so gorgeous and wispy. It's so funny, I just always think I look insane with nothing but eyes and no complexion, but we're gonna take care of that now. So for primer today, whenever I'm doing clients' makeup during the summer, believe it or not, I always wanna focus more on texture than I do hydration. So for the most part, people tend to be more hydrated during the summer. They're not really as dehydrated as they are in the winter because of the cold weather. So unless you're excessively dry where you have flaking, believe it or not, a primer is really not gonna combat that dryness. It really should be more in your skincare, where even if you are dry in the summer, get a good chemical, physical exfoliator, serum, moisturizer, and take care of your skin. But as far as the look of the skin in the summertime, where you're really gonna be in direct sunlight and people are gonna be able to really see the texture of your skin on display, I focus on a primer more for texture and pore filling. And for me, no primer really does that better than the NYX Angel Veil Primer. So we're gonna go in with a little bit of this, especially concentrated in the T-zone and the nose area. Another beautiful primer for this, if you're excessively oily, is One Heck of a Blot from Soap & Glory. Is amazing. I always use that on my oily skin clients. If they tell me they are oily and get shiny in the T-zone, that definitely is my go-to. So now that the primer is blended out, we're gonna talk foundation. So my philosophy whenever I'm putting foundation or choosing foundation for a client during the summer months is I wanna back off the liquids and focus more on the powders. I think a really big misconception in makeup is that a setting spray really is gonna keep your oil at bay and give you long wear in the makeup. That's really not the case. It's more to make the powder melt into the skin, possibly make the eyeshadows last longer, prevent any transferring of your makeup. And believe it or not, a lot of the long wear and oil combating in your foundation is from not only the foundation you choose, making sure it agrees with your skin, but how you choose to set that foundation with powders. So whenever I'm doing anyone's makeup in the summer, I use as little liquid as I can just to even out the skin tone, maybe spot conceal with some concealer, but I wanna do as little liquids as possible and focus more on maybe a little bit of creams and powders, because I think creams make the skin look a little bit more hydrated, and then powder is really what is gonna give you that long wear. So for foundation today, I'm gonna go in with, this is the new Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. This is so beautiful. It really feels like water on the skin. It is so thin and lightweight, but still gives you coverage. So I'm gonna do a little bit of color correcting with my LA Girl Pro Conceal. I do this every time just to kind of conceal any darkness, my 5 o'clock shadow, or even under eyes. This is in the shade Peach Corrector. So we're gonna do a little bit of color correcting and then we're gonna blend out our tinted hydrator. Another trick recently I've been loving, I learned from Wayne Goss, is to not dip into the foundation with your brush because you want to keep your brush dry. If you get too much foundation up in the bristles of the brush, it's not really going to blend your foundation the way you want it to. So what I love about this too is I can really spread this around because of how just thin and lightweight it is, but it still gives that coverage, but it is so sheer and beautiful on the skin, but still gives you, you know, enough of a flawless base where you don't have to go in with a real heavy foundation in the summer, because using too heavy a foundation in the summer is really what can make the skin look cakey and heavy, especially as you're sweating and, you know, just kind of chilling in the hot weather. So after I'm done blending out the foundation with a brush, I always like just to take my beauty blender and press over everything just to kind of really marry everything into the skin. And I also just feel a beauty blender picks up any excess product. If you have too much in one area, it'll really kind of regulate it for you. So we just finished blending out this foundation, and before I go in with concealer, I do want to do a little bit of cream bronzer. So very, very little bit, and I'm actually excited to try this. This is relatively new for me. So this is the Milani Cream to Powder Foundation. This is, I believe, kind of new on the market, and I got this one. This is in the shade 255 because the shade range, at least at the CVS that I picked this up at, was very limited. I think there was like 6 shades, and the lightest one was definitely gonna be too dark for me, but I just thought this color was really beautiful for contouring and warming up the skin. So I wanna try this one out and use this to add a little bit of a cream contour before we go in with concealer. So this cream is definitely warmer in tone. It's not really a contour, but I wanted this to just add a general kind of sunniness to the skin, which I really like the color of this, and I think it is just blending out like a dream. I also love it because obviously it's giving me a scotch more coverage, being a foundation rather than just like a cream contour. And whatever's left on my beauty blender here, I'm not dipping back into the product, I'm just running down the sides of my nose just to give a little bit of definition, but I really love the way that looks. I think it is like so beautiful on the skin. And now I'm gonna go into concealer. So I am going to color correct as always. This is the same LA Girl Pro Conceal, but this is actually in the shade Cool Pink Corrector. And we're just gonna do a very little bit of color correcting under our eyes here. Our color corrector is blended out. Now I'm gonna go back in with our Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer. We're gonna build this up a little bit in the center. And the outer corner here on our cheekbone. I mean, look how beautiful this concealer is. You can see how much brightness it gave to the under eye, but it is so thin and lightweight. And I just think maybe because they're both from the same brand, it works so well with the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I love this concealer for summer. And because I use such a light foundation, I am gonna go in and kind of highlight with our concealer a little, not only for a little bit of extra coverage, but I think in the summertime it's really nice to have that beautiful kind of contoured and highlighted look to really get that, you know, just multi-dimensional, bronzy, glowish situation. So I'm still going in with my beauty blender here. This is the e.l.f. Beauty Sponge, and just gonna blend this out. Now that all our creams and liquids are blended out, we're gonna go in with powder. So this is such an important step for the long wear of your makeup, especially during the summer. And it's good to find a powder that is really finely milled, that you can be generous with, that will not make the skin look heavy. And for me, that is this No. 7 Perfect Light Loose Powder. It is just to die for. It has the most beautiful kind of sheen to it. And I like to take a little bit out on the lid here with a nice little fluffy brush. And what I'm gonna do first, because I always feel like you wanna kind of set your under eyes as quickly as possible, is take my beauty blender and just press out any creasing that may have happened under the eye, and then go in with the powder and just press this right on top of that concealer. And this powder is so finely milled, it just melts into the skin, fills the pores, keeps everything from creasing, but honestly, you don't even know you have a powder on the skin. It's just so fabulous, and I think it has something to do with how finely milled it is, as well as the little kind of light shift it has to it. It really has a beautiful glow. I went ahead and set the other eye, and now I'm just taking that same powder on a big fluffy brush and setting the rest of the skin. Now that the complexion is set, we're gonna go in with bronzer. So this isn't technically a drugstore product, but I don't know when this video is gonna go up. I hope soon, because for some reason, all of the Kylie bronzers and blushes are on sale right now on Ulta.com and at Ulta stores. So I got this Kylie bronzer in Toasty, which I've been dying to try for so long, and I ended up getting it for $8, I think. So now is the time to try it. So we're gonna build this up. So first impressions on that bronzer, it is stunning. I understand why these are kind of so hyped up. I've heard a lot of things about these, especially recently. I don't know why, maybe because they've been on sale, but yeah, this color is amazing. This is in Toasty, and I love it because I feel like in the summertime you can get away with a little bit more of a warm bronzer than you can in the winter, because like I personally am so pale that I can't really do a warm bronzer. I look orange, but this in the summertime, I think you can get away with that warm, kind of sunny, toasted look more than you can in the winter time. So now I'm gonna take a little bit of this on my fluffy brush again and just run this. I always like to run it up and down the neck just so everything is cohesive. So now to add a little bit more of a contoured effect to the nose without putting any more liquids on, I really didn't want to build up any more concealer than I already have. I'm dipping into my Beauty Bakery Flour Powder. Sorry, I put powder on the lid, I can't flip it, but this is in the white shade called Rice. And I'm just gonna take my beauty sponge and lightly press this onto the bridge of the nose. This is a great way to get that highlight back. I also did the sides of my nose and a little in the center of the forehead, just to add a little bit more brightness with the powder, again, rather than packing on a ton of concealer. And now I'm gonna take my other favorite powder at the moment. This is from No. 7 as well, but this is actually their Pressed Light and Illuminate Triple Action Finishing Powder. This powder, this is in the shade Light, is a complete dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder, and I've been obsessed with it recently. So I'm taking a nice little packed brush here, dipping into that, tapping off the excess, and this is just to smooth any texture and add a little bit more brightness under the eye where we feel like we lost it. But I'm telling you guys, if you're someone with pores or texture who just want to smooth the skin out and really make everything look airbrushed and blurred, you need this powder. Don't spend the money on the Charlotte Tilbury. That is so expensive if you don't want to. You can really find an amazing dupe in that No. 7 powder. So see, I just brushed that away, and look at the highlight that gave me in the center there. It just, this rice powder from Beauty Bakery is just gorgeous. Alrighty guys, I just went ahead and dusted my little baby bake off here. I'm in love with the way the complexion looks. I just ran into a different room and I was like looking at my skin in natural light in a mirror, and it just looks so smooth. And I think that's really a testament to starting with that really light sheer base and then building up the coverage where you need it, opposed to going in with something super heavy. So now we're gonna go in with blush. This blush at the moment is my all-time favorite. It's honestly one of the most favorite blushes I've ever owned. I can't believe I was like late to this game. This is a really famous blush in the makeup artist community, and I grabbed it recently, and I think it just works so well for summer. This is the Milani Baked Blush. This is specifically in the shade No. 5 Luminoso. It is just beautiful. It has the most beautiful peach kind of tone to it, and I just think for summer, when you want the light to, I almost dropped it, when you want the light to hit your skin and just look really just hydrated and glowy, I mean, you can't go wrong with these baked blushes. Oh, just look at her. This is so beautiful. God, I just love this peachy tone. It's so natural too. It really just for summer looks almost like you have no blush on, but it just, and by that I mean it's more looks like a natural tone. You could definitely can see the color of it, as you can see, but it just looks so natural and soft. Before we go any further with the complexion, I am just gonna quickly finish up our under eyes here. I'm gonna go back into our color book palette, and I'm gonna take this one right here, this top matte in this lineup, And we're going to run this on our lower lash line. Moving on to highlighter, I wanna use one of my favorite highlighters for summer. This is the Catrice Sungasm highlighter. I mean, look at this thing. It's $10 for this giant pan. You cannot go wrong. And we're gonna take this on a really beautiful kind of fluffy brush from Morphe and build this up on our high points of our cheekbone. It's so gorgeous. I really want the light to hit it. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I also did want to mention, I just got these sent for me also from Florence by Mills. These are 2 of their new colored liners. So I got it in white and blue because I kind of had this look in mind when they were like, when I was picking which colors I wanted them to send to me. I put these on my hand. Not only are they really, really pigmented, but I washed my hands probably 4 times in the course of a couple hours in my apartment, and these liners did not budge. So they will stay, and they really show beautifully in the waterline. You can see them there. They're just so pigmented. So I think I wanna let's do the blue one in the waterline, just because I feel like it's like a little bit more unconventional than doing the white. Okay guys, that is the blue in the waterline. I just think, oh my God, it's so cute, and it really shows up so well. From a distance, it looks more white, but it's really pretty when you get up close. You can definitely tell it has like a baby blue look to it, and I just think it's gorgeous. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes, as well as I am a big believer, if you wanna get rhinestones for the eye, I pick these up at Michael's because I just feel like sometimes makeup stuff like this can be a little bit overpriced, but I'll pick up a pack of rhinestones like this. I hope it's picking up on camera. And I think I want to add a little bit to the inner corners of our eye here. Play around with it a bit because I'm extra and I just think it'll really elevate the look. So I'm gonna do our bottom mascara and pop a couple rhinestones on, and I'll be right back just to finish up the lip, set this look, and call it a day. I'm back. We did a little bit of bottom mascara and I did a little bit of a rhinestone moment on our inner corners here. I just kind of wanted to bring up that kind of aquatic dream we're feeling right now. And now for lips, I'm gonna go in with my current favorite lip liner. This is from KKW Beauty. This is in Nude 1. I'm just gonna line our lips here first, and then we're gonna go in with a new kind of liquid lip balm, it's called. It has hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, shea butter, green tea, and I don't know how to pronounce the last ingredient, but it is from Catrice. It is such a beautiful color. So let's go in with our lip liner, and then we'll top it off with that liquid lip balm. This is such a pretty color. I love the way that looks. I think the pinkish kind of shift really complements the blue, but it's really hydrating too. It feels really good. It's not sticky at all. And I think it goes really nice with this lip liner. I think for setting spray, which is kind of piggybacking on what I was saying about making sure your powders are really set there to kind of prolong the long wear of your makeup, that really allows you to use a setting spray that maybe even is more hydrating or adds more of a shine to the skin, because you don't have to worry about it making the skin look dewy or shiny because you have the insurance of your powders giving you the long wear. So I'm actually gonna go in with this new one that Revolution Beauty sent me. This is the Conceal and Define Finite 16-Hour Wear Setting Spray. I saw this one online. Someone like had put eyeshadow on their hand, sprayed this, let it sit, and was rubbing back and forth, and the eyeshadow wasn't budging. So I really love the idea of that for summer, because if you are sweating, you wanna make sure that nothing is gonna move on you, but you're not necessarily like praying that your setting spray is gonna give you the long wear, because you know you set it really well with your powder. So now let's just go in. Let me hide my mirror here so it doesn't get spotty and weird. Whew. In my opinion, summertime with setting spray, more is more. The more it can melt those powders into the skin, the better. Now I'm gonna just take my beauty blender, the flat side of it, and just press that setting spray into the skin. Alrighty guys, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you had as much fun as I did doing this kind of just pool, ocean blue summer look. On top of the look, I hope you guys got something out of the products and the techniques I was sharing with you to make sure your makeup really looks beautiful in direct sunlight and in the heat of the summer. I hope you guys had fun. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed or you're subscribing right now, make sure to hit the the notification bell right next to that subscribe button, and you'll be notified every single time I post. I love you guys. I will see you on the next video. Make sure to comment down below any other ideas or videos you would like to see from me, and I hope wherever you are happy and healthy and have a wonderful day. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.